Alright guys, well today we're going to be doing some tightening on the handlebars on a 2005 Harley Road King, because when you're riding your bike you don't want that to all of a sudden happen in the middle of riding. So there's a couple things we got to get to get to the handlebars. So we're going to go a little step by step as far as what we need to do to take off the parts we need to get to. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this chrome piece right here, which is connected by this little screw. Let's see, right at the bottom there. You can see it's right there. So we got to take that off. And then it's gonna release this, open up, and we can take that piece off. So let's go ahead and do that right now. You can see it's starting to open up. Alright, so now that you have that screw loose, you just slide it right on out. So, there's the screw. Sure it goes in. Put all your screws in a trusty little magnetic holder. So now we're gonna go ahead and look in here and see what else we got. We also need to take off, there's a screw right in the middle, right there, you can see it. We need to go ahead and take that off as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That screw's a little tricky to wiggle out of here, but let's move it around a little bit. I get it. Just work on a good surface, that way if it does fall you can find it. But there's that little screw right there. This goes right in the center right there. Alright. So now we should be able to take off your headpiece right here. Boom. Just like so. Alright, gonna set this down. Alright, so you also have this other ring or bracket, whatever you want to call it, going around. Once you get that front nice chrome bracket off, you got this other one, and you see it goes all the way around. But from the bottom, you can just grab it, kind of slides right off. Just like that. Just gotta work it a little bit. Put that also next to there. So it looks like also too, we got another retaining ring. A lot of rings. So you got this little one right here on this side. You see, and then they're connected to these screws right here. Got that one, and this one. That should give us some room to get the bulb out. So just gotta start doing that. me put this down real quick so I don't drop the headlight. Alright, so now that we've got the screws off of the retaining bracket, you got your screw one, another screw on the side, and then the screw here. The headlamp should just come out, but you do have a pin connector toward the back, and it's simple to take off. You just gotta be careful. You gotta put your fingers, see these little clips right here, there's one on each side, so we want to squeeze those and then just shimmy it back and forth, and then boom, comes right out. And then there's your light. Alright, so now you can put the light to the side. Alright, so now that we got the headlight out, you see we still got some work to do. It's not too bad though. We got this plate, looks like it's held in by 6 or 8 screws. You got a screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there, a screw there, and a couple screws on the other side. So we got to take that off. And why we have to take all this stuff off is we're going to try to get to this chrome piece right here down the middle. There's a small screw about right here below it that's held by a nut, so we got to move all this out of the way so we can get to that nut, and then we can remove this chrome piece, and then we can remove the center bracket here, and then get to the handlebars from there. Alright, so now we have the screws removed. You can see they're removed. It's just a Phillips screw, very easy, no issues. Just gotta wiggle this out and it'll pop right out. The other thing is too, is you kind of keep in mind for alignment. See how this screw is right here, goes right in center of your chrome pieces, and the bottom too. See this bottom bracket right here, goes right where the slit's at. So just stuff to keep in mind, so that way you don't get all worried about when you've had it off. You're like, oh, how does it go, which way? Just remind yourself of stuff like that. Alright, so let's wiggle this off. Okay, out comes that. So that's what we're trying to get to, where it's open like that, so we get some room to work. Alright, there. Let's see if we can take a look at that screw we're trying to get to. Yeah, so you see it's this little guy right there. So once we get that out the way, we can remove the chrome piece, and then actually we can start getting to what we need to get to tighten up the handlebars. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that guy out of there. Alright, so to get to that screw, if you have a small 1/4" drive little socket set, that'll work perfect. It's a 5/16 socket, so just get that in there. See, it loosens up pretty easy. It's not even tight. Set it up with my hand now. Nice and loose. Alright, put that somewhere safe. So now we should be able to get this bracket piece out. So it just comes off like so. Just goes in like that. There. Alright. So now, fun stuff. So, to get this cover plate off, it's actually pretty simple, not too hard at all. This cover right here, it's actually just a plastic cover. Where you see unlock and lock, it's a plastic cover. If you can see in the camera, there's a little space, a little notch knocked out, so that way you can stick a precision tool in there, just lift it up. So we'll go ahead and do that. See, it just comes right up. Oop. You want to be extra careful like that. You don't want to go at it hard because they do have these 4 little snapping clips where you don't want to break them. So you just be nice and gentle with it and it'll pop right out for you. See, they're all still nice and intact. Alright. And then it shows we have 2 Phillips screws right here that are located right there. So then once we get that off, we should be able to take this cover off. You see, it just lifts right up. Alright. Now you can see the screws, Allen screws that we need to mess with to get it nice and tight, back in spot, back in place. There's my other Harley right there. Harley, feeling sick right now. Alright, so now that we got that cover off, you got a couple Allen screws here. These back ones right here are 1/4 inch Allen. These front ones are 3/16, and yeah, they were real loose. So we tightened them all up, and it's not gonna go anywhere now. So now we're gonna go ahead and put everything back together in the same reverse order that we went. So we want to go ahead and put the cap back on. Just sits in there like so. Alright, so you're going to put your 2 Phillips screws back in. Don't have to over tighten them, just gotta make sure they're nice and snug. Alright. So you want to put your plastic cap back on there. Remember, it's just those little clips. And all it does is just line them up. And then boom, it's in. Next piece is our little chrome decal.